Welcome everyone to the October 2022 energy update. We did start outside, as we usually film all these outside, but I completely got drenched, so we brought it inside to my home office. So welcome everybody. That kind of is a fabulous introduction to this month's energy update, because it's going to be a bit difficult to pin things down or to have assurances of happenings. So the main aim this month is flexibility, is to keep yourself as free as you possibly can. Keep yourself open to something better arriving, even better than you've planned. To keep yourself fluid with change. So I had a soul gathering. I do them once a month. It's like a webinar on Zoom every month. And during those couple of hours, we really go into the detail of messages from the cosmic guides or from Gaia or all sorts of different energies and frequencies that I tap into. And actually, September's soul gathering was from Gaia. And what she was saying, in a 2-minute summary, which you can't do justice to it, but basically, and it is available on a recording if anybody wants to check it out, but she's basically saying that we are navigating through rapid waters. So it's like being in the rapids. So anybody that's trying to, swim to the side, it's a lot of efforting. And anybody who's trying to swim back to wherever they've come from, back to normality, back to such and such a body or such and such a thing, it's pretty impossible to do so. Even with the most magnificent effort, you're just going to stay in the same place. And she said the reason for this is she's inviting us to enter a life of ease. So she's big on the invitation to find ease within yourself with every decision and every opportunity that comes up. So between now and the end of the year, she gave us a picture a long time ago. I don't know, can you join me in the comments fields for this, guys? I mean, do you ever remember me talking about the fact that we were all on this rug? And she was saying the rug is like the planet, and she's shaking it up, and we've all been up in the air. Lots of our pieces and aspects of our soul have been all over the place, and we've begun the return home. So that when we actually land on the new and clean rug, it's a depiction of different frequencies that is the new earth. And the new earth is requiring us to be equipped and to have different filters through our eyes and our hearts and our voice and things that we say and hear, so on and so forth. So we've been going through what I call tooling up. So during this time of the last few years, really, where we've been free falling back to earth, some of us, some of you have started to land. So you'll almost have like one foot in the new world and one foot in the old world. And that's been a recurring theme for quite some time now. But for the rest of this year, it's certainly going to be dominant in that you're going to notice within yourself the changes and the yin and yang and the absolute opposites that is available for you to choose from. And Guy was speaking this morning about the fact that the old foot, if you like, the foot in the lower frequencies, the one that, 10, 20 years ago, we'd all sort of leaned into, really, that we were accustomed to, that we were sleepwalking around the majoritively and like, oh, this is the world, this is what we do, these are the expectations of how to live in the Western world, so on and so forth. And the 1 foot, she said, is in old lies. So to watch out for when you're repeating one of your old lies. Okay, she said also watch out for any corruption within you or around you. Watch out for conflicts, anyone or any governing group of people who are trying to control the masses. And watch out for people and yourself if you're trying to push an influence onto another. So those are the things that she was listing, those kind of things that give you perfect examples of the old paradigm. And, you know, the lies thing, I sat with that for quite some time because I thought that's really interesting, because she's talking about how easy it is to lie to ourselves about how the world is and how we are, and to find ourselves, you know, even when somebody says, you know, how are you? And you say, fine, thanks. But actually, you know, you're not fine, actually. You could do with a hug, or you could do with like, oh, do you want to just have a chat while we have a walk? Or you could do with just being left alone or something. And it's like, what she's saying is watch out for all of those times, those moments in your life each and every day. And start to just notice what's happening, because if you pick up on any of those themes at all during your day, she was saying go to the new frequencies that are also abundantly available for every single human on the planet. And she says in the new list, if you like to write things down for lists, the new one, the other foot, lies within truth. So she said it's all about the truth. So when someone says, how are you? Of course say fine if you're feeling fine. But if you're feeling a bit funky, say how you're feeling. If you're feeling ecstatic, don't be embarrassed about it. Share the ecstasy. If you're feeling ruffled, whatever the truth is, start to get used to hearing yourself say it, so that your higher heart starts to take priority in your life. So truth is one. Cooperation. And when she was talking about cooperation, she was talking about not just with other people, but with all aspects of who you are. So to cooperate with your shadow and your light. To cooperate with your fears and your peace of mind and your hope and your love. So cooperation's a big thing. Peace instead of the conflicts. So find a way when you're conflicted within yourself and you're conflicted with choice to go through whatever you need to go through, but you're looking to feel at peace when you make those decisions and choices. Yeah, and instead of this control of the masses and influencing and stuff, she's talking about offering us, and I wrote this one down because I thought it was beautiful. She's sort of inviting us. She said, I invite you all to the table of creation. I invite you all to the table of creation. So I was talking last night with somebody when we were having a private session about the qualities of grace. And one of the qualities of grace is living through your wisdom part of your heart. It's living from the highest version of yourself. It's a palpable force of hope and discovery, a mixture of wisdom and a lot of patience is actually within the qualities of grace. So if you're having a conversation with somebody with the 1 foot in the old world, and you know you're right and you know they're wrong, the old word supports that because it's all of the duality phase. So there's the yin and yang, black and white, and you will want to explain why you're right. Whereas the energy for the new frequencies gives you enough wisdom to not have to push your rightness on another, to find that it's enough to just dwell in those areas of possibilities and to dwell in an invitation for them to come with you to this table of creation and they have qualities that are superb and you don't have those, and you have qualities that are superb and they don't have those, but together all of that mix of different qualities, different viewpoints, different behaviors, different ways of seeing things will make a much richer existence. So it's this idea of knowing that you're right is being enough. And unless, there's harm if you're not speaking up, that sometimes that's enough just to allow it to be enough and not have to push it on another or influence people with that. It's just how it is, and you can be quite comfortable and graceful within that knowledge for yourself. So that's something that kept coming up all the time. Along with that theme, I did pull a card out from the Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell and Daniel Noel, who's done all of the artwork. And I thought this was hilarious. So the theme for the month from the card is "You're not for everyone." You're not for everyone. Well, guess what? We never have been. And I love this because she says in the card, embrace your weirdness and face your true north. And that's exactly sums up what Guy is talking about, that, some of us do appear a bit weird to other people. It's just embrace it and not having to minimize your own personality or your own way of being in order to attempt to be loved or attempt to be liked or attempting to please others or attempting to get love from a route that's external. It's about welcoming the weirdness that we are and loving that edge, loving that difference, loving that way of being as being, actually, we don't have a choice, do we? It's like, that's the thing. When you really get to know who your core being is, you don't need to apologise because it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. Will you fit in with everyone? No, of course not. We're not meant to. In the new frequencies, we're meant to actually bring those differences with self-knowledge and acceptance. Start with acceptance to this table of creation. So our particular symphony of a song of our heart is greatly needed by the table. Those exist that come to the table because we're different, and different views, different qualities, different gifts, different ways of working through creative projects are very, very much needed. So with the new frequency, instead of like jealousy and envy and you're not good enough coming to the fore, what's the palpable difference at this table of creation is loving expectation of acceptance, of excitement about finding who you are and what you're bringing to the table, and how can that weave in with the next project that we have for building this new earth, for building or getting ideas about what kind of life you would like to lead. So Guy's reminding us that the ingredients for wishes, ingredients for wanting things, ingredients for creation have always been there. But with the frequencies that have changed recently, and they've gone much higher, it means that we can manifest things much, much, much clearer and much quicker than before. So it's well worth just reminding us all of being the leader in our own lives and being very clear as we go on month by month by month now about start to get even more clear about what it is you really, really want. What is it as you, as goddess, as God of your own life? What is it of you as leaders of your own life, living from a good heart? You know, if you were to create this world, what would it be? So start within your own self with your own personal wishes about your own comfort level, pain-free, friendships, various other things, and then take it out to your family. What would you create and design for them? What would you create and design for the village, for the country, for the world? Take it right out. And then what would you design for the universe? And then again, what would you design for the universe? What would you design for the whole globe? What would you design for your country, for your village, for your friends and family, and for you? So you start within, take it all the way out. Start on the outside, bring it all the way back in. So it's an outward breath and an inward breath. So we're creating on every level of life. And what harm does it do? Have a go. Because when we put out these, we're creating all of the time. We are creative beings. We are creative beings, and we're birthing new ideas, new ways of living, new scientific discoveries, how to live differently, relationship with science and technology, how to deepen our relationship with Mother Earth and all her beings. You know, it's a real time to start to wonder. I wonder how good life can be. October energies are really coming in to support you in getting very, very clear about what life actually is for you. So a lot of support is there to help you get clear. A lot of support is there to help you with your boundaries. So not as in the old days, but as in boundaries about what kind of room you want to live in, what kind of house you want to live in, what kind of land you want to be enriched by. So the boundaries are more of an invitation of space, okay? So these boundaries with the new frequencies are more of an invitation of space. So again, start to think about what colour of the walls that you want to actually be bathed in. You know, have you done some sunbathing recently before the rains arrived? What about some stargazing and some moon bathing? What about connections with nature? What about connections with music, connections with friendships, connections with reading? What is it that's making your world enriched? So do your best to start to write things down, start to journal, start to ask within your heart, what is my world when I enrich it? What is my world when I enrich it? And that list, if you like, is your new boundaries. So as you write that list, what in my world, you know, how can I enrich it? What does it look and feel like, an enriched world for me? That therefore makes it very clear when you get options, because October is full of diversity, it's full of different options. It's really coming in as, what do you want? Oh, you want that? Okay, I'll give you that. But are you sure? And it'll give you something else. And it's sort of like, oh, check again, check again, check again, check again. So if you can get this list sooner rather than later during this month, and you're really clear about what's enriching for you. So when you get the universe come up and go, well, how about this? Or how about that? Or how about this? How about that? It's sort of like, I'm clear. Thanks ever so much. But no thanks, because I'm clear that this is my enrichment area, and that definitely does not vibe at the right kind of frequency for me to be able to engage into, because my belly drops or my shoulders go down, or I get really like, my energy gets unplugged. So watch what's going on with your energetic body, within your physical frame, but that's how you create your new boundaries. Okay, which is epic. It's a really positive, fantastic way, I think, of creating boundaries. So that's replaced the old way of defense with the creative process of, you know, what's most enriching. Get that list up as soon as you can. And then the enrichment will be boundaries enough. And it'll help us make the right decisions to carry on moving in the direction that you've decided you want your life to go in. So remember, this is about personal leadership, enrichment, being your new boundaries. Be very aware of those, you know, 1 foot in the old world, 1 foot in the new. Watch out for all of those of the original list. And anytime it starts coming up for you, you've got something there that she's given you very easily to swap it out for and focus on. So that'll actually help you feel more confident, calmer. She was saying there's going to be quite a lot of options and differences and a bit of jagged energy around during October. And she said when you get into that frame of, oh, for goodness sake, not another thing, blah, 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 any of that coming in. It's like a jumbly, jagged kind of feel. She said if that plops into your life, take a breath. The only way to respond to this is to not respond before you've taken a breath. So that's where we can get invited into dramas and invited into lower vibrational stuff, like more weight on the leg that's in the old paradigm, is if we don't take a breath first. So when this jumbly jagged stuff comes in, she says if you just take a really deep breath, or however many you need, so that you can just go calm again, heads up, another really good heads up. It's like if we land in it, we can get ourselves out with the breath. If we realise before we've even landed, we can alter our perspective with the breath. So take a few deep breaths, however many you need, and then respond from there. So you're responding all of the time with a deep breath from your higher self. You're responding not from just the emotional rage or responsiveness or fire that's coming up. You're coming from you weighed all of who you are, and you're coming from a wholeness aspect. Remember, or some of you haven't seen the Soul Gathering, but we were talking there as well about wholeness being the key for the rest of this year. So moving forward with ease and with wholeness. And this video is really about the how to do some of that. So hopefully that'll help during October. There's quite a lot of may I say different windows of opportunity that are going to arise during October, and it's almost as if all of your muses, your guardian angels, disband your belief for a moment, whether you believe or you don't believe in these things. Just go with the story that I'm putting forward here for a minute. It's like we've got interested parties, we've got lots of higher frequencies around that are available to nurture you, available to invite you into a room of existence that is beyond this life's memory. There's kind of like portals and areas of the land and within your own heart and your belly where it's kind of like almost like you're being lifted out of the situations that you're in that you find too much of an old aspect of you. So if you get stuck at all, ask for help. Please ask your guardian angel. Say, oh, I'm really stuck. Can't remember of anything that Carol's talking about over the years. What do I do? Please help. And ask for help, because there's an enormous body of frequencies now of loving kindness that's creative, that's a force for good. A massive arrival of light frequencies, photons, of all sorts of things. I don't want to bore you with all of those just at the moment. I'll pick another day for that. But it's like there's so much arriving that you're not on your own. You're not doing this on your own unless you think you are doing it on your own. Just reach out and ask for some help, and it'll be there. You'll suddenly feel a little bit different, or a lot different from you did when you asked. and it's coming in immediately, and it's coming in with a lot more strength than I've ever witnessed it before, and it's coming in to really guide us and get us back on the path that our higher selves, our soul, has agreed to before we were born in this physical frame, this body, this time on this planet. So we've got a lot of help that if we're going off track a bit, or we're feeling a bit really funky and out of it, that we can get some help from our spiritual selves to pull in that assistance from the guardian angels, or whatever you want to call it, the chi or the ki or the prana or Gaia or earth energy or inspiration maybe, or intuitive living, whatever works for you. It's all within that frequency, and it can definitely assist. So lots of different types of energies available. Choose which one you want to actually avail yourself of assistance and growth in those areas. Keep reminding yourself that you are the one that can have choice in your life about which way you respond to news, which way you buy into various lies or various old stories or various push and pull stuff, or you take a different way, a different footing on this new earth. And just ask yourself, you know, if you get that feeling like, oh, I'm not sure if that's true or not, you know, it means you're waking up to the possibility that things could be more truthful. So it's just ask yourself, is there anything in that I've just seen on the TV or heard on the radio, or my friends just told me, is there any truth in that for me? Is there any truth in that for me? Because your body will tell the truth. It'll be like, oh yeah, you can get a bit excited about that. That is a good truth for you. And, you know, if it's not truthful for you, so it's pack of lies or a bit of lies or whatever, then your energy won't rise. It'll just sink down and make you feel a little bit drained. So watch out for that, because your body will always tell you the truth. It'll give you your nice high yes, or your calm yes, or it'll give you something else as a no. So trust your body, because that knows. Because your body is kind of like holding, if you like, the wholesomeness, the whole of you, rather than just your mind or just your emotions, and not one particular area that's ruling the roost. It's like all of you. So if you can take that into consideration, that'll definitely be a practical way of moving forward and sifting through, you know, what is important to you from the energy and the information that you will be bombarded with this month of October. So yeah, so I think perhaps take a few moments to align with prosperity of being, with ultimate health, with no harm be done, with rock on with life in the best possible manner, inspiration and creativity, and soul family that just gets with the program and knows where we're heading. Okay guys, may that or something better now manifest in your life, and I wish you well for October. We will be putting up some photographs on Instagram. I've been missing from a bit of social media for a while now, because I've got a big move that's going on for us in our life. But we are going on a retreat to the island of Mull and Iona in Scotland very soon, on the 7th of October. So yeah, look out for some pictures of the wildlife and the sacredness of that particular part of the world. That'll be great to share it with you. Lots of love. Bye for now.